This over here is a Stage 3 IS20 Turbo VW Polo GTI. Now you must be thinking, why are we covering another IS20 GTI? We covered one 2 years ago almost in Hyderabad. Well, let me tell you that this thing over here is no ordinary GTI. For that, I have to sit in the driver's seat and tell you exactly why. This is India's, oh my god, first manual convert Polo GTI, and it is an absolute monster. Let's directly talk about the topic of this video. This thing over here. This is a 6-speed manual transmission in a VW Polo GTI. Now, if you're an international viewer, you must be wondering that's not such a big deal, because in countries from Europe, you already get this transmission as an option. But in India, you only got the DQ200 7-speed DSG. Now, that's a faster transmission than this 6-speed manual over here, but I mean, that kills the whole point of a hot hatch in my opinion. A hot hatch is supposed to be something which is fun to drive, very engaging. It really brings out those goosebumps when you're driving, and with the DQ200, well, it was a very fun car, but I think so this is much more engaging, much more fun to drive. And yeah, so what exactly SpeedSport Delhi over here has done is that they've ordered a 6-speed manual transmission from Europe, a real 6-speed manual which is meant for the GTI, so that they have no fitting issues, they don't have to cut the chassis or do any sort of stupid alterations to it, and it's a direct plug and play kind of thing. So this is a real GTI 6-speed transmission. It's not picked up from an Octavia 1.4 or it's not anything like that. Proper OEM stuff. And I have to say, with a third pedal over here for the clutch, yeah, this is a very special driving experience. Not for you international viewers, but for us Indians, this is a very big deal. Now, when it comes to the interior, it's pretty standard apart from this thing over here. This is a Golf R infotainment system. It gets Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a little bit more fancier, and I love the fact that these guys have done everything super tastefully. I mean, just look at the car from the outside. Talking about the exterior, well, what a looker. I mean, it looks fabulous. It gets some really sick looking forged ATS wheels, and they're painted white. Why white? Because these guys are heavily into rallying. I mean, if you see their garage, it's full of rally cars, old S-Teams. They have a Polo rally car, and yeah, rally cars have white wheels, and I'm pretty sure that's why they've painted the wheels white, and it goes really nice with the white paint as well. You get some really sick looking decals on the side with SpeedSport written. You get a Maxton rear spoiler lip, if I'm not wrong. You get a WRC bumper in the front. This is a real WRC bumper, not some China made bumper or anything like that. This is a real WRC street bumper for the Polo GTI, and apart from that, looks pretty standard on the outside as far as a GTI goes. But if you start having a closer look at some of the components, you'll start understanding that this is a real serious machine. I mean, for example, look at the tires. Might look like some normal tires, but actually these are semi-slick MRF tires, and I'm pretty sure the grip on these is going to be insane. And then if you look behind the wheels, you have a massive brake rotor which has been picked up from a Golf R. In fact, that whole braking system has been picked up from a Golf R, and I'm pretty sure that also is going to be super powerful. And underneath the hood, you have the Gen 3 E888 1.8 TSI. Now, this car has a lot of modifications done to it, and it has some stuff that my car also doesn't have, because pretty much it's the same engine. For example, it gets a Wagner competition intercooler. You have a BMC CDA carbon fiber intake system. You also get an IS20 turbo, just like my car. And this thing is also running a SpeedSport full exhaust system with CatCon as well. And I love the fact that these guys do most of their things in-house, and I'm pretty sure this car sounds absolutely insane. This thing is also running a SpeedSport custom remap, and it has a switchable remap as well. So it has 3 different settings for the remap. Let's hop inside and quickly talk about that.
Before we continue with this video, a quick word from our sponsor, the Little Men from Above. Little Astronaut Wallets. This little wallet is slim, durable, sustainable, and of course, stylish. This is my personal slim bifold wallet, and it is pretty robust. I have used and abused it for a couple of months. I've taken it on rides, treks, and done quite a lot of bad stuff. I've even put it to my washing machine, but it still is in pretty good nick. It can hold up to 13 cards, it's all RFID safe, and it's got 2 secret compartments for your 2 secret cards. You also have a slider for your favorite card, which happens to be my license, and it also comes with 1-year warranty. So in a world full of humans, be a little astronaut. Check out littleastronaut.com.
This thing is unlike anything I've ever driven. Look at this smile on my face. I mean, this has to be one of the best E888 builds I've ever driven. It might not be the fastest or the craziest sounding one or anything of that sort, but when it just comes to pure fun, this thing is on a different level. The way it builds up speed is just different, and you have this third pedal and this little wiggly thing in the middle. It just makes the driving experience so much more engaging. So like I said, SpeedSport has developed 3 different maps for this car. Previously in the intro, I was driving on the low boost map. That used to make 255 horsepower. I'm on the medium setting map, which is on 95 RON fuel, and it's making around 300 HP. If you go to the third map, which is on XP100, it makes a ridiculous 340 HP. What in such a small car with such a small wheelbase? There are a couple of components in this build which help it manage that power a little bit better. You have GAB adjustable coilovers, and it's in its current setting very compliant, stiff enough for you to have fun, but compliant enough for like all these bumps on the road. It also has the 345mm big brake kit from a Golf R, which again is definitely needed because the way this thing picks up speed is unlike anything I've driven in a hatchback. This 6-speed manual just completely changes the driving experience of this car. And the map is so linear, so just responsive and communicative. I love that. And the owner has also changed the pedals in this car. It gets a couple of Sparco pedals, and you can do nice heel and toe downshifts as well. Traction is a big issue in this thing. These MRF semi-slick, they're struggling to keep up with the amount of power and torque this thing has. Oh my god! We have a stage 3 1-liter TSI Polo following us, just showing us the routes and all, and I just gapped him to a different country. And this is what hot hatches are all about. I mean, yeah, the DSG in the Polo GTI that you get in India was good and all, but it's just not as good as a 6-speed manual. This thing has completely changed the game for hot hatches. The things that make a hot hatch good are the engagement of it. It's not supposed to be the fastest thing on the road. And that's what made the Abarth Punto such a cool car. Even the new i20 N-Line with the manual transmission such a cool car. Yup. I think so the Octi needs a manual transmission now. Definitely. And the funny thing is that SpeedSport hasn't changed the steering wheel, still gets the paddles, but of course they do nothing. Yep, such a cool car. And the fact that it's a GTI, you get 2 doors, these lovely tartan seats. Dream build for sure. And I think so this is something that I should have considered before buying the Octi. I'm a little jealous of Phil from SpeedSport now. What a thing. I'm seriously considering of doing a manual swap in my Octavia TSI. And I mean, there are more pros than cons in a build like this, because first of all, you don't have the anxiety of the DQ200 failing or anything of that sort, and the engagement levels in driving this car just go on a different level altogether. This is one of the most unique builds that I've ever seen, and I really like the fact that SpeedSport isn't running behind any sort of records or any sort of quarter mile times with this thing. It's just made for pure driving fun, and that's the reason why I absolutely adore this build. If you have a GTI and if you have some money lying around, I would definitely suggest you to do a manual swap on your Polo GTI. And with that, I think so that's the end of this video. This is one heck of a car, and you should definitely check out SpeedSport Delhi, because these guys are some madmen. A big shout out to Phil from SpeedSport and Kashif Nazim for helping us out in arranging this shoot. This is one really special car, and I hope more Polo GTIs get manual transmission swaps. Thank you so much for watching this video. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, comment down below what you think of this build, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm going to drive this car a little bit more.